evening everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Street Journals. It has been a while and a half, obviously because of lockdown I haven't been able to go out and produce many of these videos. I really wanted to get out this evening, head into Trafalgar Square. I'm about 5 minutes away at the moment. Obviously need a haircut, my hat's looking a little bit tatty, but at least we're out here. Hopefully have a nice evening of making some street photographs, which I'm very excited about. It's been a while, so I bought my 35mm f2 Fuji lens, which is roughly equivalent of about 56mm, and I've also got this 16mm, which is roughly a 24, but I think I'm going to spend most of the evening on the 35mm just because I like that sort of 50mm focal length. So yeah, I'm going to chuck on the GoPro on top of this camera and hopefully show you a bit of behind the scenes. May need to take a little while just to warm up because I don't really perform extra well when I'm under sort of like the camera. When I know I've got my GoPro running, I tend to not actually produce images that I like because I get a little bit stressed. So I'm going to leave it off for a little while, warm up, and then I'll try and show you a bit of the behind the scenes. I've also bought my Pentax MX with me this evening just to try out a little bit more film photography, just trying to use this medium a little bit more. Really like this camera, very simple, very mechanical. So yeah, we'll see what we can create with this little, oh, nearly dropped it, this little guy.
But it's absolute.
So I thought it might be worth talking a little bit about why I've come to Trafalgar Square today, and that's mainly because I wanted to see if I could continue a series that I started, which was just going under the working title of Street Journals, either Entry 1 or Volume 1. And basically the current events basically saw an end to that project pretty swiftly. It was going to be a long-term project on the residents of the West End. I have a lot of interest in the West End, have a lot of like family history in the West End, and I think it's an incredible place. Unfortunately, I think at the moment, you know, Theatreland's sort of been shut down. That's not even going to reopen until sort of April 2021 by the looks of it. So today was sort of like a recce to see if the atmosphere, if the people, if all of that was still the same. And we'll see. I'm yet to sort of come in on a more regular basis like I was previously, but it should be interesting to see how this area copes, progresses and changes with these trying times. With regards to this Fuji 35 f2 lens, I'm really enjoying shooting with it. This is sort of like my complete kit setup now. So I've got a 24 which I'm filming on now, a 16mm 24mm equivalent, and then I've got this 35mm which is equivalent of about 50 to 55, 56mm, which is really cool. I really like this focal length. I'm still very much so getting used to shooting on the street again. It's a bit of a sort of a change for me. I spent 4 months not really doing any of it, and getting back out here has definitely been a bit of a challenge. I came out a few days ago, took some snaps, not to this location exactly, but not too far, and I was really happy with some of the images that actually came out of that sort of first go. It's definitely one of those things that takes practice. It takes time to sort of build up the confidence and to build up that sort of eye and the eye for anticipation. So we'll see what comes out of today. I'm not super hopeful for much. But then again, if you're looking for something in particular, then you're gonna miss everything else that happens around it. So I think today is just going to be a bit of a, like I said, a bit of a warm-up session, see what comes out of it, and if nothing does, then nothing does. You know, I can come in again and have another go. But yeah, it's a lovely day, really nice weather. I'm really quite warm, as you can probably tell. But yes, you can't really ask for much more than a nice sunny day. Nice warm weather and a bit of street photography. I think I'm going to switch back to the 50. Oh, actually, I forgot I had this guy in here. Okay, I think I'm going to give this a bit of a shot. Maybe take a few snaps, see how it goes. But I also, yeah, so connect contrast in there, and then also this. So I'm going to give the Pentax a little spin, I think. Let's see how this goes. Come on, jump down. Go on. Action shot. Oh, stop taking family pictures. Do something. There you go. That was definitely not in focus. Okay, so I think I'm going to put the GoPro away now. I'm actually finding it pretty hard to concentrate whilst I've got this on. Like I said earlier, I find it really hard to just like zone in and just not think about having to film anything. So unfortunately I'm going to have to put this away just so I can actually concentrate a little bit better, hopefully get some images. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this into a sort of two-part video. The first part will be a sort of mishmash of BTS and B-roll and sort of the pictures I've been taking at the minute, and then the second half will be sort of like an old school sort of street journals where I would sit down and talk you through my images and just my general thoughts. So yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed the BTS up to this point. Like I said, I'm sorry about that, but I just really need to just like knuckle down, get back into the swing of things, and thank you for understanding. Cheers. So it is about a week after I filmed that first bit of video. It is far too warm. I think it reached about 36, 37 degrees yesterday, which was fun whilst I was at work. But I just really wanted to make a second part to this video, mainly because, like I mentioned in the first half of this, that I really struggle to sort of zone in when I'm doing street photography if I'm trying to make behind the scenes at the same time. That's something that I'm working on. That's something that I'm sure the processes of doing so will improve, and that just comes with time and practice. Like I said, I've taken literally pretty much a 5-month break from doing street photography and especially making street journals. So to sort of jump back into it within the first sort of few times of going out again and trying to make street journals was probably a little bit ambitious on my half, but I just really enjoyed doing it. However, like I said, I do get quite distracted, and I don't tend to take the best images that I think I can take when I'm trying to make street journals. Oh my god, it's so warm. So if you don't know how I make street journals, I basically put this GoPro on top of my camera or on my chest, and I use this like little cold shoe adapter, and then that basically lives on top of my camera and captures the behind the scenes. And then if I want to do any pieces to camera, then I use the one that I'm filming on now, which is my Fujifilm XH1, which is also my street photography camera, so we'll come onto that in a sec, or my DJI Osmo Pocket, which I think I'm going to use more frequently, mainly because it is pocketable. It's easier just to get out, film a piece to camera and put it away again. I think with street photography, people are more interested in the images I produce rather than the behind the scenes video. I know that doesn't really make sense if I'm making street journals, but I personally feel like I'm more interested in the pictures rather than the quality of a piece to camera. I also did that at the end. I filmed a bit to camera on my GoPro, and I immediately noticed that I was thinking less about settings and audio, etc, etc. Yes, it wasn't the best quality, but it wasn't distracting me from trying to create good street photographs, basically. I also want to talk very briefly about this, which is the Fuji 35mm f2 lens. I really love this lens. It's so small. I mean, I did this a while ago. I just compared the size of this lens to this GoPro with the little cold shoe adapter on it. It's so small, so compact. Naughty stuff. So yeah, I've really enjoyed shooting with this lens. I definitely feel like my street photography kit is complete with this camera, just with the 16mm and this 35mm, which is sort of a 24mm and 50mm equivalent full frame. It just suits my style of shooting, and yeah, it's just a very high quality lens, so I'm sure I will do a more long-term, in-depth review of it at some point. So with regards to the images that I took that day, my favourite, I've actually got two favourites. My first favourite would be of the couple in Trafalgar Square sitting on the edge of the fountains. The man is pointing at something, and I assume he was actually pointing at that weird sculpture that's currently in Trafalgar Square. With my street photography, I try to find two things generally. One is intimate moments, intimate scenes, and two is isolation. And I think there's not much in the scope of the imagery that I create that comes in between those things. It's definitely a polar opposite a lot of the time, so I really like this image. I like the intimate moment, and you can find isolated intimate scenes like this one because there's not really much going on around them, but like I said, I just really enjoy the sort of the bond between the two of them, and also the fact that they're yellow, they're sort of matching yellow colours really complement the blue of the water in the fountains. And then the second image that's my favourite is of this girl who was walking in front of the fountains that were backlit at the time because of the time of day. I hadn't really seen that before at Trafalgar Square. I don't know if I've just never been there at like 7 o'clock in the evening. Probably not actually. I just think it's a really nice picture. It's not anything groundbreaking, but for me, after 6 months of not really doing anything, it was really nice to come away with a couple of images that I was proud of. So yeah, I think that's gonna wrap up this video. Like I said, trying to do stuff on location is distracting, and I work Monday to Friday 9 till 6 most days, and street photography for me is very limited. It's very much not the majority. I don't spend the majority of my time doing it, and if I'm getting distracted trying to film something or getting distracted trying to make something work video wise, then I don't want that to encroach on the minimal time that I have when it comes to street photography. But like I said, it'll all be a matter of finding out which processes work best, how I can make things run a bit smoother. I also shot a little bit of film on that day as well, 35mm film, so once that roll is finished, then I will get it developed, and I'm sure it'll appear in a future video. So thank you very much for watching this video. Be sure to follow me on Instagram. I'm at SamBHolt, and also across all major social media platforms. Be sure to listen to my podcast, Conversations Over Coffee. I have a delicious iced coffee here that I made with my new AeroPress, so go get yourself one of those and sit down and listen to that. Be sure to leave a like and a comment down below, as well as subscribing to this channel for future videos. But apart from that, thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you in the next one.